Okay, welcome to the Slayer's Keeper channel. This episode 2, is going to be called Prophecy Dreams. On this grand episode, I will be discussing one of the gifts of being the Slayer, and that's a bit of prophecy dreams. Now, everybody dreams, don't get me wrong, but the dreams that a Slayer will have are like more visions and messages from those who must be kept, who are in control, who has all the power, who created us. Now, my first prophecy dream was when I was 12 years old. I had a dream my aunt died, and in my dream, I was in my house at the time, and I was walking through it, but more fluid-like. And once I passed the hallway in the kitchen, I seen my aunt. She was cooking with angel wings, and she was smoking a cigarette, and she was making eggs, and getting ready to cook, and asked, was I hungry, or she was about to make a plate. But when I woke up, I'm like, oh wow, it was just a dream. It didn't make any sense. Then I remember the telephone ringing before I went to school, so about 7:30 in the morning. I was at the hospital, and then I gave my mom the phone. But before the phone rung, I was getting ready for school, and I said, Mom, I had a dream that my Aunt Gigi died. And she was like, what? I was like, it felt surreal. She said, no, she's okay, just get ready for school. I just talked to her yesterday. It was just a nightmare. I'm like, okay, well, she had angel wings on and was cooking eggs in the kitchen. So then while I was getting ready, walking towards the door, the phone had rung, and once it did ring, I answered it. It was the hospital. They asked, could they speak to my mother, and I gave her the phone. And then after she got off the phone, she did a lot of, okay, yeah, and I was like, Mom, everything okay? She said, oh yes, just the hospital. They wanted to speak to me. Nothing that really concerns you. Get ready for school. Your other aunt will be there to pick you up when you get out. So we get out of school, and it was actually my older cousin, who picked us up, and he said, when you go in the house, just listen. And me and two of my cousins all got out of the car. As soon as I walked through the door, one of my other aunties was sitting on the couch and said, I need y'all to sit down for a minute. And I said, okay, what's going on? She said, your auntie passed today. I said, I knew it. I told my mom that before I went to school. I had a dream about it. And she looked at me eerie, like she told me you had a dream, which was really weird, and your dream was right. So that started the prophecy dreams right there. And then I had another one. Oh God, it's raining. I'm going to pause this podcast and pick back up once I make it back home, because I got to pay attention to the road to explain the rest of the prophecy dreams. But the other one will come in the death of one of my favorite persons, who I idolized and followed in her footsteps. Her name was Aaliyah. She was a singer, music star from Detroit, Michigan. And I had a vision in my dream that she passed, and when she did, there was a tombstone, and in my dream I thought it was my mom who actually passed. So I'm standing by the tombstone with 4 other people, but then I look up and there was a woman by a tree with a shawl on, and it really didn't even make any sense to me at the time. I'm like, who is this woman? That woman isn't my mother, but who is she? And I woke up, and then a month later, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later to be exact, the Aaliyah CD came out, her final one, in 2001. And when I looked through the booklet, I bought the special edition one with the DVD included, with her music videos. And I looked through the booklet, and then there was the woman who had the shawl on. And I said immediately, this was the woman in my dream. I'm like, but it didn't dawn on me, being at the time, 16 or so, realizing that, she was going to die. I didn't really understand my power and the gift that I have of my visions, my prophecy dreams. But of course, about a month later, she died in a plane crash in 2001. And I never forgave myself because it was something I could have done. Like, I always think that because I get the visions before they happen. So maybe I could have spoke to, I knew a couple people who knew her. We even went to the same school, had the same principal. And then I had a cousin, Leslie, who went to school with her, which is why I got into the school, because they told me about it. Only 500 students total in high school, but you had to get accepted into it. So I got accepted into the school, but yeah, that was my second prophecy dream that I had, and it came true, unfortunately. And with Buffy and her powers, she has a lot of visions that she don't understand, and later on throughout the series, she start understanding her power and getting visions and knowing of clues. Prophecy dreams could lead to clues and extra things like that, to save somebody's life or to prevent something from happening. So that's the second one that I dreamt, but I'll tell you more once I'm able to get out of traffic. All right, Slayer's Keeper, stay tuned. I'll be right back.